Hello, hello. Welcome, Youest You listener, my beautiful, expanding soul family. I am really excited about this episode today, this topic. You are going to be hanging with yours truly. And, I feel a little silly because I have interviewed many, many people. I've talked about many subjects. But one of the things I have not talked about as much is how to become your Youest You. So, if you are new to tuning in, welcome. I'm thrilled you're here. If you have been part of this community and family for a while, welcome. I am just so honored. And in case we don't know each other yet, again, my name is Julie Reisler. I am host of this show that I am truly in love with and honored to bring to you. I'm also known as America's Life Designer. I'm a master life coach, author, and TEDx speaker. And I am obsessed with this topic of being your Youest You. Like, what does that mean? And it's interesting. I have been getting asked over and over again through comments from you, emails. So thank you. I love hearing from you. I've been getting asked, like, Julie, how do I become my meest me? How do you become your Youest You? And this is something that I will tell you, and I'm just going to say this outright, and I hope it doesn't sound like bragging or anything like that. I see this as a real gift. Since I've been very little, I've had this ability and gift to see your Youest You, to see your higher self, to see that those possibilities, especially what I've noticed is when I meet somebody, when I meet you and you start to talk about what you love and what brings you joy and where you feel purposeful and passionate, I have been gifted with this ability to see that, to see it in the future, to see it kind of like that highest path for you. And I want to say that, of course, we all have free will. I do believe there are multiple infinite paths that we can follow. And many of them lead to wonderful possibilities, right? I mean, you could say we have infinite paths. However, what I want to talk about is that path that, we're talking present and future, that the moment now and the moments you want to create that really feel super aligned, connected, totally in that space of you feeling like this is me, I've arrived, I'm home, this is what I came on this planet to do, to be, to experience, to feel. And I have seen when I'm around others, especially if you start sharing what it is you love and what it is that lights you up, that I'm able to see that. And I've been thinking about this a lot. I am able to do that for myself sometimes. I usually have a coach or someone I'm working with because it's helpful to have someone hold that space for you. But I've kind of been looking at and dissecting, okay, what does it really take to become your Youest You? Now, I'm going to start by saying that I believe we all come into this world all as, these greater infinite souls, spirit. You come in with a almost like with a plan that you get to decide and design, and that you start out your life as your Youest You, right? So this is not like I've got to go find it, I've never been that, it's never happened before. No, I think personally, and again, I always say this, you know me now well enough, take what you like and leave the rest. Okay. So if I'm saying anything that does not resonate, please always let everything go through your own intuitive guidance and inner wisdom. I recommend that with everything. I really do feel though that part of our life is almost that reprogramming ourselves as we get older and pick up beliefs and stories and experiences, and we start to see others, usually, family of origin, right? You might see, I have a dad who's a big dreamer, and a lot of those dreams to date did not come through. Some did. And he really, I love my dad. He really struggled with PTSD, with depression, and being able to actualize an ADD and actualize all of those dreams. And so, that had an impact on me, right? I saw someone who went for it in some ways and also felt hindered. I also then saw my mom who is a former opera singer and a music teacher who did go for it and did land her dream job. It wouldn't have been my dream job, but it was her dream job to be a music teacher in this incredible school system back in where I grew up in Newton, Massachusetts. And she loved it. She was there for, I think, 25 years. So I also saw that. And so what we do is, think about yourself, about your parents or whoever brought you up and raised you, or your siblings, or the messages, right? In school, your friends, all of these have an impact. We know this. As we get older, we start to, I think of it as like a backpack, right? We start to either add rocks, or if we're conscious and we're looking at what we're putting in our backpack, maybe we're putting in flowers, which are much lighter and much more fragrant and beautiful. But many of us throw in rocks, not realizing it. And we end up with a heavy backpack, and it can feel heavy. And, I know for me, this was about 20 years ago when I had a moment of feeling like my backpack is way too effing heavy and it doesn't feel right and it doesn't feel like me. Why? Because I'd been putting in a lot of rocks. Those rocks of, and I've talked about this, wanting to be liked and the people pleasing. And really what happened is I would look on the outside and say, okay, I didn't have a lot of, in some ways I had a lot of stability growing up, a lot of love. And in other ways I didn't. My parents, my dad really struggled, especially financially, and that was really challenging. And so when I would feel overwhelmed or not as rooted or grounded, I would do what I needed to do to feel more grounded. And that was typically abusing food, overeating. So there went in that rock, right? Or I would berate myself. Well, now I don't feel as good in my body. And that cycle went on for a long time. So I had a backpack full of rocks. A lot of them weren't even mine. So I want you to think about yourself. What bag are you carrying around of rocks? And while I love rocks and I love Mother Earth, I don't want to be carrying them. I'd rather be carrying like I got one of those little bags you put on your front, like the butt bags. Remember the ones from the 80s? I love those, right? They're light. You can move them around. Just got my little wallet and my phone in there, right? But we don't want to be carrying big, big bags of rocks and heaviness. So I really think this is connected to that excavation of your Youest You, that really get to the heart of who you are. So here's where I have seen, when I've really boiled it down and looked at the process, I want to share it with you. And I would love to hear from you. This is actually something I am working on, is putting together a program where we can do this together, to be your Youest You, to really step into that in a way that's fun and playful. But the thing is, and I'm going to share with you my framework, my methodology that has come through really sifting through my experiences and seeing and working with clients now, coaching for over a decade. Oh, okay. Before you can just throw out the rocks, so here is the overall framework. All right. It is this idea of being able to see, to feel, to connect to your Youest You. And so I was saying, one of my gifts is to see that in you and to see that in me. And I want you to be able to see that in you. And so this framework is with the word see. So first would be, we've got to feel safe. So if you have experienced different challenges, even, traumatic moments, frustrations, beliefs that are crappy, but you still might have them, those are the rocks that are, over time, that are adding up in your bag. And I believe before you throw the rocks or give the rocks back to Mother Earth and let her take them, before you put the bag down and do that, or as you do that, first needs to be that feeling of safety, feeling safety. So how do we do that? Well, what I have found along the way is feeling safe is not about berating myself, trying to squash or kill off any part of myself, including those beliefs. It is through bringing in love and compassion. Often it's through community and others. But one of the things I teach both in my coaching program and that I've seen in my own life is creating that safe, sacred space for yourself. It is so important. It is also the root of your root chakra, of your grounding, of your nervous system. So, what are some things that have you feel more safe? And I would encourage you to think about that. What has you feel safe? And to feel it's okay. It's okay to put this bag down. It's okay to start doing this inner exploration and work. I gave one of the words away. I couldn't help myself. So for me, some of that safety, I'll tell you right now, a silence meditation practice. It could be a walking meditation, but some sort of connection to myself where I am silent enough, where I've turned off the notifications, I've turned off everything that could grab my attention other than being with me, which means very diligent on scrolling on social media and other forms of distraction, and making sure that I start every single day with creating that safe, sacred space, which means I start with a hand on my heart. I go into a meditation and I either move through walking or swimming or something that's just with me and me. And often journaling, short journaling, right? It could be intuitive journaling, or it could be your gratitudes, it could be your prayers. I find that safety is created really, really well when you put and invest that time back into you. And I get it if you're busy mom or dad, you have other things going on, you have kids. I get it because I have some too. I've got a whole brood over here. It's so important though. It is so crucial because that safety comes from you not abandoning yourself, not abandoning, even with the rocks and the heaviness. It's shifting from putting others first, feeling like, oftentimes that's where we get into victim mode. And it's just saying, hey, I am worthy. I deserve this attention, because what is underneath, it's like polishing, right? When you polish that silver piece of jewelry, underneath is this beautiful, shiny piece of silver or gold. We want to polish ourselves, but to do that, we got to feel safe to do that. So safety is the first. And there's a lot more I can say about this, but I think that if you're really, really looking where to start, it's creating that safe, loving space for yourself. Next, in the C methodology, in the C framework, we've got like SEE, although I love SEA, the C, which is a great place for feeling, for healing and deep connection to yourself. So the next E is exploration, explore. This is important because if you have been doing life like I had done, and catch myself sometimes still, if I'm not paying attention, we can easily start to add in rocks. I used to use the analogy of putting a mask on, which now, doesn't work as well, but that idea of putting on like that dramatic mask, right? Like today I'm going to show up this way. And the problem is if you keep putting on, a different part of you that isn't you, if you're wearing a mask because you want to people please, you lose connection to yourself. So as you feel safe, now it's time to explore, right? We're taking off those other aspects that we might have been wearing, right? Now we're looking at the rocks, right? We're putting them down, we're taking them out of the bag. You start to explore and look and see, okay, when have I felt most connected to myself, most alive, most aligned, most lit up, most energized? Let's look to get some evidence from the past. And then even in the last month or two, go look and do a little inventory. Start to ask yourself, notice in the moment, right? So I take everything that's going on in my life. I look at it like it is something to be looked at, to be learned from, to be loved, right? The 3 L's: to be looked at, to be learned from, to be loved. So I recently pulled my back. I've never done that before. Not super fun. However, in paying attention and really being conscious about it, I could see that there has been I felt overwhelmed, and I'm sure my back, part of my body, felt that. So looking at your body, exploring your body, what's happening in your body. And as a result, I have changed my entire self-care routine. For those of you who live nearby, you might see me these days in this very beautiful Healing Waters space. And I go now almost daily to swim, to be in the hot tub and the cold. Like I'm taking care of my body in a different way. And I'm exploring, what is it that makes me feel aligned and alive and connected, especially with movement. And I realized, it's funny, the universe is listening. I've been saying for the last year, I really want a hot tub and a pool. I love water. Love, love, love water. I grew up swimming. I was a lifeguard. I was a swim instructor. I love it. And guess what? Now through my back, here I am. Here I am. I have attracted this beautiful healing water space. And what's amazing is I have really been exploring, wow, I love connecting to water. Where else can I connect to water? So that being your youest you, my meest me, it's a living, breathing thing. We're constantly looking and asking and exploring. And so for me, I'm kind of excited, like, wow, I really love moving in water. I forgot about that. I wonder where else I could do that. I wonder what else that would look like. Maybe there's a space on the beach this summer that I could find a place where I could do something similar. Who knows? Who knows will come? But that is really about, for me, it's been being conscious, being aware. And so I invite you, if there's something going on with your body, I know I've struggled and I've talked about my thyroid, right? Having a low thyroid. A lot of us women have this Hashimoto's or Graves' disease. And I often believe that's connected to your voice, your throat chakra. How could I speak up more? So exploring brings in, it bakes in one of the most beautiful ways that we can look at life, which is curiosity. So within exploration is curiosity and really digging and seeing, okay, what makes me feel me? Now, if you don't know this or you don't remember, it's been a long time, please safe, sacred graciousness with yourself. It's okay. You're asking it now. It's never too late. So ask yourself, let me explore. Let me explore with unattachment, with compassion, and with curiosity. And just notice. And this is where you can start to see if you are feeling that you have not been doing something that feels like you're used to. This is the time where you can start to say, you know what? I realized I need to be in nature more. I'm going to start a garden. I'm going to get my hands in the dirt. I love that. Right. So it's never too late. It's an exploration. And then the last E, we got two E's, is all about expression, expressing yourself, that full self expression, your youest you, whoever that looks, right? However, that is wanting to come through you. I see that as the divine wanting to express through you as you, right? So when we bring in that spiritual slant, knowing that this is not just about me, right? Like being my meest me, this is about bringing in my higher self, spirit with me. And let's do that together. And so that expression, what does that full self expression look like? And I'll tell you, this is a big one. In looking in my past, I realized, wow, I did not feel that way in my career. It's partially why I went back and got a degree in coaching. It's why I started my business. It's why I do this podcast, because I really wanted to help people, like, oh, I had so many dark nights of the soul. I did a dark tunnel of time where I really kind of emerged right from that really challenging space of not really connecting to me, and had to excavate. We had to excavate. That's part of the exploring. Excavate works too. But then that expression, then the joy is expressing in the moment to moment. How am I expressing? How are you expressing as your youest you? And that full self expression, whether it is for you to write a book or start a podcast, right? Or to pivot, and maybe it's to start that side gig that you've always wanted to do. Maybe for you, that full self expression, who knows, maybe it's like being the head of the PTA, or getting in touch with all of your family and starting a Zoom meeting monthly that you connect. Whatever it is, there's nothing wrong or right. The only thing that could be wrong is not doing anything, and that's not necessarily wrong. It's a missed opportunity. And I'll tell you, I'll say this before I wrap up. What guides me is, and I love this quote, I'm kind of getting it, I think I'm taking two quotes in one, but I never would want to get to the end of my life, God willing, hopefully that is many, many years from now, and feel like I missed being who I really meant to be. And that's my wish for you, is to really take that time, to take that attention and intention to look at you, at who is your youest you, right? If we start with safety, how to feel safe, how to feel like you're in your own safe hands and space. Next is to explore with curiosity, with kindness, with compassion, with fun, right? And then lastly is expression. How do you want to express in the world? And who are the people in your world, in your community, in your circle, that can help hold that space for you, that can see your youest you? I was saying earlier, it's one of my gifts. And I bet I would not be surprised if you might have that gift also. It's amazing. I literally can see it and feel it. And the more you practice this, the more you're going to be able to see it and feel it as well. and then finding those that can hold that for you. And so this, my friend, is what I feel is the beginning, at least, to really look at, connect to how to become your Youest You. So I have loved being here with you. I hope this was helpful. I always love getting to do these solo episodes, and I feel your energy and just always love to hear from you. So let me know, what did you get? Are you going to start taking this action to see your Youest You, to be your Youest You, to embody your Youest You? I'd love to know. Email, drop notes in the comments. This is on YouTube as well as the podcast. Let me know, and I will keep you posted. I am working right now. I'm putting a really fun program, integrating a lot of tools that I've used and written about, and ways to connect, including play dates and a little magic, so that you can fully unfold and express as your Youest You. I do believe our world is asking for that. Your light, your gifts, your talents, don't let them lie dormant, especially as we head into spring. Tap into the essence of you. You have been planting those seeds since you've been here, born, and allow those to come up to blossom. I know I would love to be in community and see and celebrate your Youest You, and I am doing that here right now. I want you to know I'm honored to be part of this community with you, and hope that this was helpful for you. Mwah. All right. From my meest me to your Youest You, love and light always.